Osho, one of the most talked about spiritual voices to come out of India, would say your biography is almost useless. Dates, places, labels, they don't touch the real story. The real story is what you are right now. And that is where we're going today. Not into gossip, not into scandals, but into one uncomfortable question Osho kept pushing. Are you living from your own consciousness or from a program you didn't choose? By the end, you'll be able to spot three invisible forces that run most lives: ego, comparison, and mechanical habit. And you'll know the one move Osho believed could cut through all of them. Osho was often asked for his biography. His answer was blunt: I have no biography. What people call a biography, birthdays, hometowns, accomplishments, he called meaningless. Because most biographies, he said, are not the story of the soul. They are the story of the ego, the mask we wear so the world doesn't see our fear. So instead of chasing the man, let's follow the idea. Osho shocked interviewers by saying he didn't believe in anything, not even in believing. He didn't want to replace one religion with another, one ideology with another. He wanted to destroy belief systems altogether. When an interviewer asked, then what do you call the belief system that doesn't believe in belief systems? Osho said, it isn't a belief system, because a belief system programs you. It writes on you. What he wanted to do was the opposite. Deprogram. Strip away the writing, leave you clean, like you were before the world started telling you who you are supposed to be. And if that sounds extreme, look at your own life. How many of your truths did you examine? And how many did you inherit? Osho's destination is not a new identity. It's the end of identities. He said, go deep enough inside yourself and you find emptiness. Keep going and you don't find a grand, shining self. You find nothingness. Buddha called it nirvana, emptiness, not despair, the disappearance of the ego. So what exactly is the ego that must disappear? Osho defined ego in a way that stings. Ego is a strategy to hide inferiority. Somewhere inside, there's a knot that whispers, I am nothing. And ego replies, then I'll become something. I'll prove it. That's why ego is not just pride. It's pain management. And it's also why ego is uniquely human. Birds don't wake up thinking, am I successful? Animals don't build self-images. Ego is trained into you. From childhood, you are told, as you are not enough. Become something. Win. Be special. Now you might say, but ambition creates progress. Isn't that good? Osho's warning is about the engine. If the engine is ego, the finish line keeps moving. To explain, he told a story. A yogi meditates in a forest. A mouse starts circling near him. The yogi grows attached. A cat attacks the mouse. The yogi turns the mouse into a big tomcat. The cat runs away. Then a dog attacks. The yogi turns the tomcat into a cheetah. Then a lion attacks. The yogi turns the cheetah into a lion. And now the lion turns on the yogi. In the story, the yogi says, be a mouse again, and the lion becomes a mouse. Osho's point, in stories, the reversal is easy. In life, it isn't. We keep upgrading our mouse. A small insecurity becomes a big image. A simple desire becomes an obsession. And eventually that constructed lion becomes so heavy, it sits on our chest. Here's the trap. Ego gives small bursts of pleasure. You prove them wrong. They must be jealous. But those pleasures are like placing a flower on a wound. It covers pain for a moment. It doesn't heal it. And entire lives are spent decorating wounds. So people say, I should drop my ego. Osho warns, even that can become ego. Look at me, the mind says. I defeated my ego. So what's the alternative? Instead of battling ego, you observe it. You understand its pattern, and you accept the emptiness it tries to cover. Until now, the world kept insulting you. You are nothing. Osho flips it. You say it yourself calmly. Yes, I am nothing. Not as a punishment, as truth. Because the ego survives on energy, attention, comparison, the constant effort to become somebody. If you stop feeding it, it collapses like a house of cards, not through violence, through clarity. But then the biggest fear appears. If I let go of ego, you might ask, Won't I become lazy? Won't ambition die? Osho's reply is surprising. When you relax into emptiness, life doesn't stop. It becomes effortless. Work may still happen, creativity may still happen, but now it happens from natural flow, not from anxiety, not from competition. Like a river moving toward the ocean, something deeper begins to move through you. And then he names the next poison that keeps the ego alive. Osho called jealousy one of society's greatest devices, because jealousy forces you to live in comparison. Comparison turns life into a ladder. Someone is below you, relief. Someone is above you, misery. But the cruel trick is this: there is no top. No matter where you stand, you can always find someone ahead in money, beauty, talent, fame, knowledge. So you keep running, and you keep losing peace. History is full of powerful people who still felt small. A conqueror can be insecure about his height. Osho used Napoleon as a symbol of this. A man who conquered nations, yet still carried a sensitive wound about how he looked. And the irony is, the wound doesn't even need to be true. A British cartoonist once drew Napoleon as comically short, and that image spread. Power couldn't protect him from the sting, because ego doesn't measure reality, it measures status. A celebrity can feel empty. A leader can crave recognition even after reaching the highest office. Because ego doesn't ask, is this enough? Ego asks, who is above me? Osho's advice is not to win the ladder. It's to jump off it, remove competition, remove jealousy, not by pretending you're beyond it, but by seeing it clearly, which brings us to the modern version of the same trap. Osho said society doesn't really want you to become aware. It wants you to be efficient. And efficiency is the quality of machines. A machine is predictable. It follows instructions. It produces output. A fully awake human is harder to control. So life trains you to become mechanical, and it rewards you for it. Promotions for obedience, applause for performance, likes for presentation. You may gain money, power, respect, but you may lose yourself. Today, the mechanical is not just in factories or offices, it's in our pockets. Why do so many of us open our phones without deciding to? Why do our thumbs know the pattern? App, scroll, refresh, like a reflex. Because when awareness is low, habit becomes king. Shopping used to mean, you need something, you buy it. Now it's an endless loop. Browse, save, add to cart, get nudged, buy in one click. Repeat. Not always from need, but from impulse. And when millions live this way, the cost is not just stress. It's a world driven by constant consumption. But bring it back to you. If you live mechanically, do you get contentment? Or do you get a life that is always almost successful, almost respected, almost satisfied? Because ego and comparison don't end, they only upgrade. So what is the way out, according to Osho? Not a new belief system, not a new identity, not a new label to wear. The way out is self-awareness. The simple act of watching yourself, without excuses, without self-hatred, without performance. Watch the ego when it rises. Watch jealousy when it bites. Watch the urge to show off. Watch the urge to compare. And in that watching, something incredible happens. You create a gap, a small silence between stimulus and reaction, a moment where you can choose. That gap is freedom. And maybe that's why Osho refused biographies and belief systems. Because the real revolution isn't about who you were. It's about whether right now you are awake. So here's the question to leave you with. If you stop trying to become somebody, what would be left?